from targeted individual as lone wolf terrorist. Introduction to the Op Catalyst website, which has now been removed from the internet. I am what is called a targeted individual or enemy of the state. Becoming an enemy of the state is quite easy. Uncover a few of its crimes and criminal conspiracies, be as investigative and honest as you can be, and you'll be an enemy of the state quite quickly. In my case, after some years of investigative research, I uncovered existing mysteries about my own life while attracting the attention and interest of government intelligence services and their secret police. These government operations are clandestine, or secret, or classified. Things a government calls secret are many times very illegal, and activities a government classifies are sometimes outright criminal. You can measure a government's illegality and criminality in the vast number of documents it conceals from public view. Governments which target persons in the way they have targeted me are mafia-states, meaning the government operates in secret as a highly evolved mafia. The way a mafia targets people is by surrounding the target mostly with others connected to or owned by the mafia state. Informants, government employees, snitches, lackeys, and the reason for this is because you are of more value to the government than you are a physical threat. In my case, I was targeted at a young age because of my artistic skills, observational abilities, and computer programming knowledge for what the Canadian and American governments have been testing on me, which is a highly sophisticated wireless surveillance and an unbelievably advanced intelligence and military technology. It goes under various names. I call it virtual telepathy, or VT. It's called remote neural monitoring and prompting, brain repatterning, and EEG fingerprinting. Basically, it's a way to wirelessly monitor anybody using the body's biometric displacement field and also computer interfacing the target's brain patterns. This transforms a target, that is, a responsive target, into a test subject for a super spy, soldier, and super policing program. Virtual telepathy, VT, is a bit of a parlor trick, being a combination of hands-free biometric surveillance and remotely prompting the human target to receive and acknowledge these prompts. It may seem like telepathy, but it's only one way. You are a targeted individual with no formal affiliation to the government. It's military, police, or intelligence services. The reason for this is simple. This elaborately advanced surveillance technology and its clandestine handlers will drive you insane. It is a weapon, and it is also the most powerful of weapons, being invisible. Imagine wearing a set of wireless earbuds or Secret Service ear prompter, where you are receiving wireless radio instructions day and night, even in your sleep. To wake up, to go for a walk, to turn left, to turn right, to stop, to start, to nod yes, or shake your head no, like an obedient soldier. Now imagine receiving those instructions after taking off those physical headphones, and that these signals can reach your head wirelessly anywhere you go, like a radio. You can understand why intelligence, military, and police desire this immensely, as there are no communications which can be monitored or intercepted by a third party. It is private, discreet, and transmitted through an anonymous computer interface to the target's own brain fingerprint, which is theirs and theirs alone, exploiting the same wireless frequencies which are all around us. Adapting to this technology requires isolating the target and destroying their life and sanity in a complete personality disintegration, thereby infiltrating their brain. Canada has a history of this brain repatterning going back to the 1950s with the government and CIA-funded MKUltra program at McGill University with Dr. Ewan Cameron. Like every type of weapon, governments never stop advancing them. It took me a long time to adapt to the VT weapon I was and am subjected to, over 10 years. It also involved treatment with antipsychotics so that I could both endure it and remain sane with undisturbed sleep. The reality is that this weapon's development has been going on in various forms through the participation of the American, Canadian, Israeli, and British governments for quite some time, and they generally use prisoners who are both helplessly and constantly monitored in jail cells. These governments, all the way to the top, want virtually telepathic soldiers, spies, and secret police, expanding the required wireless neural monitoring to global populations, whether they know about it or not. In his YouTube Deceive and Hide, Jewish mob stalking culture, Canadian targeted citizen Stephen O'Keefe states, "With so many Jews involved with methods of deep psychological torment directed at me for so many years, it is impossible that these methods are not culturally Jewish, known by all Jews above a certain age. This culturally Jewish method of profiling and stalking someone to ruin would have existed before technology made it easy, perhaps explaining why Jews have been exiled from so many lands. The benefits to shadow governments are endless: spy operations, police stings, drug dealing, money laundering drops, and black operation terror events where an asset or target are surrounded by nothing but layers of backup in a pre-scripted crowd simulation. What gave away the core of this mob stalking method as culturally Jewish was that Israelis always positioned themselves in the lead to appear as a victim, with their terrain cues consistently ordinary per Mossad and Shin Bet's mottos of deception and concealment as a strategy. The culturally Jewish methods of deception and concealment are mafia tactics, as evidenced by the similarity in criminal activities between the American Jewish mafia and the Israeli mafia, the embedded nation of Israel and Israel proper. Jewish-American mafia criminal activities include narcotics trafficking, racketeering, gambling, loan sharking, bookmaking, contract killing, diamond trafficking, extortion, weapons trafficking, fraud, prostitution, and money laundering. Israeli mafia criminal activities include drug trafficking, diamond trafficking, racketeering, loan sharking, robbery, extortion, money laundering, hijacking, gambling, prostitution, bookmaking, weapons trafficking, and human trafficking. This video profiles the surveillance proficiencies of Jews and their nation of Israel as Shin Bet, Mossad, and their Sayanim, or helpers, who profiled, mob-stalked, and ruined my personal and professional life, have declared themselves, quote, deceivers in hiding. Original Mossad slogan, "By deception thou shalt do war," and "Deceit is essential in warfare," and Shin Bet slogan, "Defender shall not be seen." Jewish mob stalking works like this. Jews pass your photo and details around by mobile phone and conspicuously stalk you wherever you go. Once you start discussing it or taking their photos, they complain to authorities that you're insane and obsessed with Jews, a Nazi, white supremacist, or potential terrorist, and that you must be watched very closely, and the Jews will help. Helping means setting you up for ruination, which benefits the police state, which protects Israeli interests. The power of Jews over my host nation of Canada is irrefutable. So, CSIS, Canadian Security Intelligence Service, the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Toronto Police Service, and the nation of Israel embedded within Canada, expanded my targeting to develop a GPS terrain surveillance and queuing system. This involves portable biometric gear in backpacks, duffel bags, and luggage totes, which redundantly biometrically position you amongst plain-clothed police, spies, and their assets and targets, fed to and through satellite GPS. It's designed to move the target into a scripted surveillance sequence where anything can happen to them, like a mock collision to take them out while appearing accidental, with all immediate witnesses in on the black operation. If the target has been conditioned to EEG remote influencing, as I was, they can be led along a pre-scripted surveillance path, like a marionette, directed, misdirected, and delayed as needed using GPS-positioned cues and resists. The cueing system covertly deployed around me uses any object or mark on the terrain, other people in the biometric field, or even GPS-located aircraft in the sky. Domestic terror black operations send government officials, police, intelligence, and the military to Israel for counter-terrorism training. There they can be covertly EEG fingerprinted and their unique biometric signatures cultivated by Israeli intelligence. Beyond detecting the international locations of plain-clothed intelligence and police for Israeli Jewish operations using GPS cueing systems, important decision-makers can be covertly mob-stalked by Jews for life, yielding unlimited political blackmail. As Jewish deception and hiding are further finessed to fabricated domestic terror patsies, and the events to go with them, more persons seek Israel for the best counterterrorism training. Jewish stalkers were so intent on always appearing to be a victim in anything I recorded, they gave themselves away as my core predators, despite so many government agencies serving as their camouflage.